Hello, in this video you'll get an impression over the functionality of the recently released FlightZoomer 3 Simulation Edition. From the get-go I will demonstrate the most important use cases like creating a navigation database, entering the cockpit, creating a flight plan, fly the planned route in simulation and finishing the flight with an ILS approach. So the first step is entering the navigation data management screen. We start by adding an airport at the position of the red crosshair, which is at the center of the screen. Specify at least code and name. Then press Save. Then add a runway where you have moved the red crosshair and assign it to our airport. Press Save a first time so we can play with the direction property until it fits where we want. Choose an ILS frequency, and press Save again. We continue by adding a number of navigation aids. Specify minimally an ID and press Save. Navigation aids will serve as waypoints, when planning a route later. Fine, we are done here, so let's go back to the entry screen. On the Simulation tab we can pick the position, where the flight will start. Move the crosshair to the desired starting position and go back. The terrain elevation will automatically be set as default altitude. Now we are ready to enter the cockpit. The first thing to do after entering the cockpit is setting the battery capacity on the Initialize Performance page of the FMS. On the third line we define the reserve battery capacity. After that, we are going to enter a flight plan on the route page of the FMS. We enter the code of the airport we just created and load it with the associated line select key as our origin. Pressing the same line select key again copies the code back to the scratch pad. From here we set is also as our destination using this line select key. Then we choose to keep the default cruise speed, and go on entering the cruise altitude and load it. For entering the waypoint, we need to switch to the next page. Here we can enter the name of a waypoint and add it, or even press the line select key of an empty line to get the list of all available waypoints. This way we have created a triangle route. Press the exec button to submit the flight plan for execution. We might go back to the first page, enter a name for this flight plan and store it. We also check the calculated flight length and duration. Beside creating a flight plan, also let's tune the ILS radio. For this we open the navigation radio page and enter the ILS frequency that we have defined before. Before flying we now can optionally close the flight management system. The flight starts by pressing the AP button to switch on the autopilot. Using the LNAV button, the aircraft starts following the flight plan laterally. Right after the LNAV mode, the VNAV mode can be activated to fly the planned vertical profile. The semi-transparent stripes indicate that we are in close proximity to the terrain. As the view would become blurred otherwise, the synthetic camera only matches the real altitude down to about 30 meters above the terrain. Below that threshold the camera keeps floating at a constant distance above the terrain. The number that was displayed here indicated the difference between the camera altitude and the actual aircraft altitude. The LNAV mode is now automatically following the planned route laterally. We are also climbing to the cruise altitude of 200 meters, where the VNAV mode will automatically level off. After the first waypoint, we will prepare for the approach and leave the LNAV mode. Basic heading and altitude hold modes are activated by pressing the heading hold button. We will then request ATC guidance for the approach using the RQST button. So all the audible voices from this point on have been generated by the app and have not been added to the video.
This is FlightZoomer 1, contact Lonely Corner approach.
FlightZoomer 1, Lonely Corner approach, continue current heading, descend and maintain 150 meter, expect vectors ILS runway 01.
Roger, continue current heading, descend and maintain 150 meter, expect vectors ILS runway 01, FlightZoomer 1.
FlightZoomer 1 turn right 340 degrees, you are cleared for ILS runway 01. Report when established.
Roger, turn right 340, cleared ILS runway 01, FlightZoomer 1.
FlightZoomer 1, cleared to land runway 01, wish you a good morning.
Roger, cleared to land, runway 01, FlightZoomer 1. Bye bye.